I am about to say something that's going to make this community deeply disappointed in me. The Hating Game movie is better than the book. I know, saying that ever is an unforgivable sin. I am not saying the book is bad. I loved the book, don't get me wrong. The movie just solved a problem that I had with the book, and that is why I prefer the movie. So let's break it down and talk about it. The Hating Game is written entirely in Lucy's single POV. We live in her head, which quite frankly is a great head to live in. She's hilarious. But we see everything through her eyes. And at the start of this book, she genuinely, deeply, enthusiastically hates Josh, which is a problem. Now, don't get me wrong, hate to love is one of my favorite tropes of all time in romance. But here's the thing, we're supposed to be falling in love with Joshua along with her. But the problem with single POV for this particular story is that we don't get to see Joshua's side of things. This is an issue with rivals to lovers or any hate to love romance at all. Because when your narrator inherently hates the love interest to start, every single interaction is filtered through that hatred. His expressions, his motives, his care. It all gets warped over the fact that she cannot stand him, and she has no intention of changing her mind. That is what we call an unreliable narrator. And Sally Thorne knew this. She wrote it with that in mind, and it was written beautifully. Josh is deliberately written to be very ambiguous. His smirks could be malice or affection. His attention could be predatory or devoted. His games could be cruelty or courtship. The problem is ambiguity only works when the reader eventually gets some kind of clarity, and they need to get it soon enough that they want to cheer for the romance. For me, that clarity came too late in the book, and it landed too softly. I couldn't feel Josh falling for Lucy in the same way as I saw it in the movie, because we were so stuck inside of Lucy's head and she was refusing to see it as well. He's a great romantic hero on paper, but through Lucy's eyes, we couldn't fully access him. And sometimes I wonder how this story would have been taken had we had at least his POV a little bit. And then that's where the movie comes into play. The moment Austin Stowell was on screen, you could see it immediately. You see Josh watching Lucy, and not with contempt, but barely concealed amusement. Like she's the most ridiculous but delightful person he's ever encountered, and he's trying so desperately not to show it. Camera doesn't lie. We get to see his jealousy when she mentions someone else. We see his expression shift when she gets a little vulnerable. In the book, she actively dismisses that because she's already decided that he doesn't like her. The movie gives us that dual perspective that was much needed in the book, and that changes everything. I know what you're gonna say. The whole point is to be inside Lucy's head. The paranoia, the misreading, the slow, humiliating realization that she's been wrong about him the entire time. And you're not wrong. That was an intentional choice. That is the book that Sally Thorne set out to write, and she did very successfully. But I would argue that you also need to experience the love in real time. And when your view of the love interest is skewed by the narrator's bias, when you can't really see him clearly, that emotional pull gets muted a little bit. The movie ended up removing that filter for me, and what was left was a genuinely swoony romance story that I loved. And here's what I keep coming back to. Some stories are perfectly suited for single POV, and some stories, and these stories are where the whole engine runs on one person's incorrect point of view. Those stories sometimes need a second set of eyes that our other main character refuses to see through. This is why I prefer to read and write in dual POV. You're able to see that other character, especially if our first main character sees them through a hateful bias. At the end of the day, Sally Thorne wrote an iconic book. She created a rivals to lovers story that launched 1,000 trope chasers. But the movie handed us the same story with an extra window for us to see into Josh's head just a little bit. The adaptation didn't betray the book. It completed it. Okay, team book, tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why being trapped in Lucy's head is actually the better choice for the story. But if you've made it this far, hopefully that means you'll want to subscribe to this channel, and we'll hang out every Thursday and talk more books. I will see you all then. Bye!